Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Mystic Does Music. I don't know if that's what this is going to be called. I haven't thought about what the title of the video is going to be yet, but we're going to stick with that for now. This series is only going to be a short 4 episodes thing, and each of the episodes is going to be very spread out. Basically, there will be a video coming out on the 3rd Saturday of every month for the next 4 months, and in each video I'll be going over one song that I made in the 3 or 4 weeks leading up to it. Each of the songs is going to be based around one of the 4 characters of the Mystic Hatters, the first one being my song. The way that we base it around our characters is the genre of the song, the pacing of the song, all the stuff like that, the lyrics as well. It's just all to do with my character as a whole. Anyway, getting into the analysis of this song, we are going to begin with what happened in Stream 1. So in Stream 1, we worked on these 2 tracks. And it doesn't look like much, and to be honest, it isn't really. This stream was mainly used for getting a general idea of what the song was gonna feel like, and how I wanted to structure each of the sections. I was playing around with chord ideas and melody ideas for a lot of this stream until I found something I was happy with, so let's just jump right into it. The first part of this was pretty easy to make, and everything worked nicely, it just came quite naturally. Now, this bar, not so much. So anyway, this loops in the bottom, and it follows a 3/4 sort of waltz style, because the genre of the song is sort of a melancholic waltz, and I thought that this really fit my character because he's sort of a depressing, nihilistic, sort of old-fashioned gentleman character. So something like this seemed to fit quite well. Once we'd finished this part, we worked on the melody. Now the melody is split into 2 repeats. The first is a simple version, and for the second repeat we added more notes but kept relatively the same shape. Let's have a listen to this with the chords. I left this last section blank here because I knew in the future when I added more instruments I wanted another sound to fill up that gap, but we'll get onto that in a little while. After we worked on the A section, I went on to section B. For this one, the stuff that I did in the first episode was pretty basic, just a simple chord progression with 2 different ways of writing the same chords. So the first section sounds like this. I wanted to get that sort of slowing it down feeling, like, okay, calm down, everything's gonna be alright. I don't know how to describe it, but I felt like that was also quite a big part of my character. This way of writing the chords was sort of a transition between the waltz and what comes afterwards, as this sort of had that waltzy style with the timings, and then it changes into a completely just flat chords here. I left this section relatively blank because I knew that I wanted to do more intricate stuff with vocals over this section, which I got into on the third stream, which we will get onto quite a bit later in the video. But for this section, that's about it. Stream 1, that's all we did. Now, moving on to Stream 2, we created these 4 sections, and we added a lot of other instruments, textures, and even some interesting melodies and harmonies. So, to start off, I worked on some strings, to sort of be an introduction to the song, and bring us to the section A that we had written in the first stream. I really like how it turned out, and I think it works quite effectively. Here, this is it, this is gonna be good. Oh yes, I'm vibing with this, definitely vibing with this. Almost what I'm going for. Almost, very almost. So close to something good. If we can get it to, like, build up and carry on into that a bit, that might work nicely. So we'll have these notes ringing out for like this. I need to do something different there, but I don't know what. Yeah! I think my favourite part of this section is around bar 9, where the melody at the top and the melody in the middle of the harmony sort of change a bit. They go out of sync, and I think it works quite effectively. But then it comes back together right at the end to bring us nicely into the song. Once I came up with the intro, I moved onto another string section, which had more block chords and was less of a melodic feature and more of a harmony, just sort of reinforcing the chords that I was building in the waltz piano. Together, the transition sounds like this. I modulated the volume so this would slowly get quieter throughout the course of the chord. Then the volume is raised a little bit, but not as much as before, for the second time it goes. The high notes were added in the middle just to give it a bit more texture. Alone, this section is not very interesting, but when combined with the other instruments, I think it works quite nicely. The next thing that I added was some horns. The main purpose of these horns was to accompany the piano melody over the top, and parts of each of them would play into each other. This is also where I filled up the gap at the end of the piano part. Similarly to how I did the piano melody, we've got a simple beginning melody that then has more notes piled on top of it and changed slightly for the second repeat. But something that I did with the horns that I didn't do with the piano is I added this one note ringing out really high above all of the first half of this repeat of the melody. There's something about that high ringing horn note that just adds another level of depth and texture and just snazzy niceness to the piece. Okay, well I had a decent idea. No, I've forgotten what it was like though. It was like. Okay, that's the sort of thing I want to go for. Cool. Insert MIDI clip. Like that. No. Right at the end of the MIDI, I turned up the reverb to pretty much max. The decay time lasted 28 seconds, which goes through most of the first half of the B section. Once I finished with all of that, I moved on to a bass line, which is pretty simple, nothing too intricate, just, I don't know, something nice. Moving on to the B section, the only thing that I added to this section in Stream 2 was this very, very simple pluck. If we ever listen to it, it's just one note pinging between both of your ears with a bunch of delay and reverb. And it sounds pretty awkward, almost, on its own, but along with the reverb of the horns and the chords and what we build afterwards with the vocals, I think it sounds really effective for this calming B section. So yeah, that's all we did for Stream 2. I think it added a lot to the song, and it came out really nicely. Now, on to Stream 3. This stream was a lot of fun, in particular because I had never really tried singing into any of my songs before. At the start of the stream, we wrote some lyrics to do with my character. I just chose some lyrics that I thought fit the character somewhat, and they worked nicely. I like the melody of the vocals. I wish I'd sang them a bit better, but, you know, I'm happy with it. Yeah, I just dumped a bunch of reverb on it. I tried tuning it a little bit, but, you know, it didn't work very well because I didn't understand vocoders. How about we change that into some sort of metaphor? Ooh, my brain's popping off. Knitting a song with the threads of my mind. Now, if that ain't Pog, knitting a song with the threads of my mind, placing these pieces to build up the vibes. Maybe? Lyric Pog? So we got knitting a song with the threads of my mind, placing these pieces to build up the vibes. In truth, it could all be a lie. I'm still gonna try. That could work, yeah. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-boo. I choked on my own saliva. Delightful. Knitting a song with the threads of my mind, placing these pieces to build up the vibes. In truth, it could be a lie. I'm still gonna try. That is too much to hold in one breath. Oh, I love that. I'm going to haunt your dreams. Whoa. Yo. Whoa, this is fun. This is a lot of fun. But all in all, it was a really fun section to work on. Once we finished that, we did the bulk of the B section, which is this monstrosity. Basically, my idea for this was to record myself singing a bunch of different single lines of harmony and then layering them all together. And it was interesting, we had varying results, but all in all, I'm quite happy with the result. Similarly to the horns, I put a bunch of reverb on these vocals right at the end as well, and that rings through the last A section. So yeah, that's what we did. I call it the Mystical Waltz, which, you know, not the most creative name in the world, but oh well. I think it came out really well. It's very different to how I was initially expecting it to go, but I really enjoyed making it, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. It was very chilled and relaxed. Okay, so here's the entire song, all the way through. All of the sections, all of the streams combined. I hope you enjoy watching as much as I enjoyed making this. So yeah, that's all from me for today, so I'll see you in the next one in a month. Goodbye, and I hope you enjoy. Knitting a song with the threads of my mind, placing these pieces to build up the vibes. In truth it could be a lie. I'm still gonna try.